in the black corner. From St. Louis,
Here comes Mr. Pro.
Andre the Giant.
Gonna get his licks in on the bruiser. Hulk Hogan.
Number one, the greatest WWE champion of all time, and in many ways, the man who made the title what it is today, Bruno Sammartino.
His opponent weighing 236 pounds in the white corner. From Van Nuys, California.
Welcome in to episode number 20 of Retro Wrestling Rewind. As always, I am one half of the uncrowned podcast tag team champions of the world. I am David Fine alongside Alex G. Folks, this is the third episode into the new year 2019. A lot of changes around the podcast. Of course, as you heard at the beginning, we have a custom-made theme song by my uncle out of California. He does some great work, and folks, there's a lot of things coming that's going to be changing in 2019. Where, of course, we're just 3 episodes closer to WrestleCon 2019. We're going to be at the hotel on the 5th, the 6th at WrestleCon. I know Alex G's coming in on Thursday for the big Super Show. And then I'm going to be coming in on Friday for WrestleCon on Friday and Saturday. Of course, I know that Alex G is going to the Madison Square Garden show. And, of course, we're going to the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania, on that Sunday. Alex, welcome into episode number 20.
Hey.
And so you're going to be going to the Super Show, correct? And
I will be there.
And the Ring of Honor show, correct?
I'm doing the Super Show, I'm doing the Ring of Honor show, and then I'll be there for WrestleMania.
Of course. You're not going to be going to the penis party with Joey Ryan?
I went to a penis party once in college, and I've never been the same ever since.
Well, I mean, and then, yeah. No comment. That's another podcast. But you can see that on your YouTube channel. No, I'm just joking. Speaking of your YouTube channel, I mean, if people love retro stuff, of course, that's why they're listening to Retro Wrestling Rewind, but they like retro video games. It's not just wrestling games that you cover, but how can people subscribe and watch your YouTube channel?
All right, so what you guys want to do is go to YouTube, type in the search bar, Retro Wrestling Games, and we'll be the first one that pops up. We have over 255 videos. Not only do we cover retro wrestling video games, but we cover other topics as well. We take a look at some of the best arcade games throughout history. We take a look at the Super Nintendo Classic that I recently got for Christmas. We have some gameplay videos of Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4 up there as well. So again, retro wrestling, retro pop culture in general. If you enjoy that stuff, you enjoy the channel.
And I know people love the channel, and I know that you have a contest that you're still running. How can people, get entered in that? I mean, there's no purchase necessary.
No purchase necessary.
Void were prohibited by law. Yeah. How do they do that? I mean, what do they win?
Well, we have a contest up right now. Not a contest. Well, that's a contest. It's a free giveaway. And we are giving away a Nintendo 64 with one controller, all the hookups and what have you, AV cables and power cords and all that stuff, and a copy of WWF No Mercy. Now, all you have to do is go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Take a screenshot or a picture, and then DM me on Twitter. Now, you can find me at Twitter at RW Games Presents. So that's at Twitter. You can DM me there. Make sure you follow me there because you get, all the information regarding this giveaway, all the information about upcoming and current videos, and just, great Twitter talk overall.
And
4,000 followers on Twitter right now, by the way.
Wow, that is a lot of followers on Twitter. And are they all actual people? Or are they bots?
I don't know if they're actual people, but they're not bots.
Well, that's good. I know that Twitter goes in there every once in a while and clears out the old bot.
Last time that happened, I only lost 2. So I'm very happy.
Well, that's good. Speaking of, of things that should never be cleared out, should always go to YouTube, type in Battle of the Belts. That's about the only way you're going to be able to watch this show. It went down September the 2nd, 1985, Tampa, Florida, the Sun Dome.
Hurricane season.
Yeah, hurricanes are coming. 7,600 people. It was shown live on syndication. I mean, it was it was a great show, but it had a lot of technical difficulties because they had a hurricane outside and a lot of wind and all that stuff. Power went out a couple of times, but it was a great show. I mean, your thoughts before we look back and review of Battle of the Belts?
Well, there's a thing that, 500,000 people in the Tampa area were evacuated from their homes a few days earlier than this event. So again, they weren't going to be drawing necessarily a large number here. And, they were still having the effects of the hurricane. Now, we do see technical difficulties throughout the show, probably most notably during the Guerreros versus the Crippler and the Grappler match. But I think overall, this show is probably kind of championship wrestling from Florida's last stand. Like, this is it for them. Yeah, they do 2 more Battle of the Belts, but again, that's more of it feels like kind of a Crockett thing, because, eventually Crockett does take them over, not too much longer after this. So, to me, it's very interesting to see kind of large-scale events like this, or, what's supposed to be large-scale events like this, that are not being produced by Crockett or the WWF at this time. So, whether it be watching world-class shows that are big or mid-south shows that are big, it's always a little bit more interesting to me than the Starcades and the WrestleManias that we've all seen 1,000 times.
Yeah, the first match, like you said, had a lot of technical difficulties. Not the technical difficulties in the ring, but
no, because you have Guerreros in there.
Yeah, with the lights going out, but they had the Crippler and the Grappler. Taking on Hector and Chavo Guerrero. Your thoughts on this match? I mean, it went 15-40. It was a good match. I mean, it was
nice to see Rip Oliver here. That's always fun. He was the Crippler, by the way. For those of you who don't know that,
he wasn't the Grappler.
No, the Grappler was
the mask guy.
Yeah. But this match was a lot of fun. Again. People love Eddie Guerrero, right? I know this. I understand this, right? Eddie Guerrero might be one of the top 5 wrestlers of all time. But not for nothing, his brothers are not too far behind him. Like, they are fantastic. And you know what? It's a shame. It's a fucking goddamn shame that either Hector or Chavo or Armando never got a big run in Crockett or in the WWF during this time frame, because they're fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, and of course Eddie. I mean,
they took him a while too. Like I see matches of a young Eddie Guerrero getting beat up by Terry Funk in 1989 WCW as a job boy. So,
I mean, you all got to pay your dues, I guess. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this match
paid him for an extra long time. Though.
Yeah,
he was good in '94.
Yeah, I mean, this match was good. I mean, it was a good opener of the event. I mean, the next match, Rip Rogers, Coco Samoa.
Rip Rogers yelled at me on Twitter the other day.
Wow, what'd you do to piss Rip Rogers off?
I didn't do anything.
Then why? He would have yelled at you for some reason.
No, I was collateral damage. He asked a question about what can the WWF creative to do better to make us as wrestling fans more interested in the product. He didn't word it like that because there's not any curse words in that sentence. He curses like a sailor. My response was my response to that is that the show's too fucking long, and it doesn't matter what great matches or what great angles that you have on that show. It's just 3 hours is ridiculous for a wrestling show. It shouldn't be over 90 minutes. I would prefer 2 hours. Is probably what they're going to be at.
I prefer an hour.
He started yelling at me. He's like, "Would you give up that fucking money, you idiot?" I'm like, listen, Rip. Let's be honest here. The USA Network is not stupid. If the WWE ratings continue to decline, you don't think there's a clause in that contract saying that they cancel them? I think there probably is.
Yeah.
Because the USA Network's not going to pay all that money for a show that's going to be drawing fucking ones.
No.
Right? That ain't fucking happening. They're not that dumb.
So
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that the USA Network paid them all this money. If you can't deliver on those 3 hours and make a compelling product with ratings that would keep them happy, then that money that you're getting, that you agreed to, doesn't mean shit.
No, and you notice that the NXT shows are an hour, and they're fucking awesome. And they're awesome. I mean, they got two or three matches, some interviews, some other angles. I mean, and they're great. That's just
for fuck's sake, 3 hours. Andy Graham couldn't book that. Fucking Jim Cornette couldn't book that. Paul Heyman couldn't book that. Bill Watts couldn't book that. No one could book 3 hours, a 3-hour television show, 52 weeks a year. It just ain't fucking happening.
no. I mean, and I mean, what were your thoughts on this match? I mean,
Are we referring to the Coco Samoa and Rip Rogers match?
yes.
Coco Samoa, is he supposed to be a Jimmy Snuka ripoff? Is that what we're going for here?
I think so.
Like, is that the guy you really want to rip off? Like,
I mean, he killed
murders
him. He
people?
killed somebody. I mean, he's dead now, but you know, I mean,
I seen Coco Samoa. I want to say on a couple of tapes I had out of Hawaii. Like he's fine. You know, Rip Rogers. I love Rip. You know, him yelling at me aside, but I feel kind of blessed because he yells at everybody, so I don't take it fucking personally.
yeah. I mean,
So Rip Rogers. If you want to see some really good fucking Rip Rogers, watch Rip Rogers in fucking Portland. Watch Rip Rogers and Global. I think his work in Global is pretty good. And definitely watch ICW.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely a great work. I mean, speaking, I don't know this next match, Kendall Windham taking on Jack Hart.
Kendall Windham or Sam Houston?
Kendall Windham.
He fucking those Windhams now are fucking big, but
Yeah, back
damn,
I mean, have you seen Barry recently?
Barry looks like fucking Blackjack.
He looks like
image of fucking Blackjack.
he looks like he ate Kendall. He
can tell that
he
when
pinned
you
he
see
pinned huh?
I ain't saying that to no Barry Windham.
No, he pinned Jack Hart. Of course, he would later go on to be who?
Barry Horowitz.
Yes, for the Florida title. I guess this was his first major.
Did Barry Horowitz win the Intercontinental Championship?
I don't know. I have to look into
Remember
that.
when he beat Skip? In my mind, in like 1995, whenever that happened, I thought that was for the Intercontinental Championship, and that's not the case.
No, I don't think he was ever the Intercontinental Champion.
That was the fucking Mandela effect.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what were your thoughts on this? I mean, Kendall back then was very young. I mean, he was maybe a year into the business.
Too young to be in the spot. But when you don't have talent, you don't have talent. And he's a Wyndham. So what are you gonna do?
I mean, it's. I mean, that's about all I can.
That's Muda here. I would have put the belt on Muda. Was he Super Ninja? I think the Super Ninja was around at this time.
I think he was, but
I would have put the belt on Muda.
and I mean,
All
kind of
the fucking belt on fucking Muda.
Yeah, I mean, but they put it on Kendall Windham. And the next, I love watching stuff on YouTube because that's where you get the original music. They had Rick Rude taking on Billy Jack Haynes. Of course, Rick Rude is managed by the great, legendary, God rest his soul, Percy Pringle III. Comes out to Smooth Operator. I mean, he is in his prime. I think he's great.
I think he's right out of Memphis. Memphis is where he learned how to work.
Yeah,
essentially. But yeah, Rude. He's not what he would become, but he's still pretty fucking good.
Yeah, and
not for nothing. Billy Jack is not. I mean, he's crazy. He does. He murders people for the Clintons for some reason. That's weird. That's what he claims.
That's weird. But and you told me what belt that Billy Jack had. He had the. I know he had
the Southern Championship.
The Florida, the Southern.
Yes, it's the Florida Southern Championship.
Huh. But yeah, I mean, what were your thoughts on this match? I mean, it went 14 minutes.
Well, understand this that at this time it would have been the NWA Florida Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
The belt in Memphis at this time would have been the AWA Southern Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
Because the Memphis left NWA anyway, and they were affiliated with the AWA.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a great match. I mean, of course, Percy the Pringle III was out there.
Better body, you think, Billy Jack or Rude?
Not to sound weird, I'm going with Rude.
I don't know. I love Rude. His legs are just too skinny for me.
Well, I mean, you don't like skinny legs, I guess.
He looks so disproportionate.
Yeah, I mean, he looked like that his entire career. I mean,
He never worked at his legs. He went out and said, fuck leg day.
And then there's Scott Steiner, but he's just a totally different animal.
I'm not bad about no Scott Steiner.
I would never say anything bad about. He's got a great
pump. He's my hookup. I holler if I hear him.
Oh man, the next match in the old event was the AWA Tag Team Champions, the Road Warriors, taking on Harley Race, Stan Hansen.
I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be Bruiser Brody and Stan Hansen, and there's no Brody here.
No, I mean
that would have been fucking. I mean, Hansen and Race is awesome, but fucking Hansen and Brody would have fucking fuck.
I mean, what are your thoughts on this match? I mean, it was a younger, as I would say, Paul Ellering, younger Road Warriors. They were the AWA Tag Team Champions. I mean, your thoughts on this? I mean, it was.
They did exactly what you're supposed to do. I mean, you go into a double count out here, and there's going to be a brawl.
Yep.
And, Hansen is Hansen, and Race. These guys are notable tough guys. So when on paper, when you're looking at this, it's like, the Road Warriors, they've been beating the shit out of everybody. But I don't think even they can fucking stand up to fucking Stan Hansen and Harley Race.
No, I mean,
it's kind of those kind of dream matches that you have in your head.
I mean, and the whole thing started out in a brawl. I mean, outside the ring, so it's like
fucking Hansen hits a pile driver, and the Hulk actually sells it. So
that's good. I mean,
you didn't do that for fucking Lawler.
Yeah, I mean, the next match is kind of, I don't know, it's just a head scratcher.
Well, because it's not supposed to be this match. It's supposed to be Nick Bockwinkel taking on Rick Martel for the AWA title.
Because Rick Martel couldn't be there because of the hurricane. He had problems getting there.
Rick Martel lived in Cocoa Beach, Florida.
I don't know. He either had problems getting there or he couldn't be there. That's what they said. But this is match 4 minutes.
Right, so it's a job. It was a squash match because Frank Lane is a jobber.
I mean, it's just. I would assume. I guess Frankie Lane, like all wrestlers, had his gear there, and he was like, "Hey, sure, I'll go up against Nick Bockwinkel. It's gonna be 4 minutes. It's on a show. Sure, why not? It's 4 minutes." But then the main event,
which is awesome, by the way.
Ric Flair, Wahoo McDaniel, 43 minutes, 17 seconds.
Oh my God!
It was a 3-fall match. I mean, it was your thoughts on this match.
Not for nothing, to be completely honest. And yes, Wahoo is probably post his prime here. It has to be one of the best matches of the 80s. Like, this is a really fucking good match. And it's kind of one of those matches that, no one talks about it. You don't see it very often. It's on fucking Battle of the Belts. You kind of sitting there like, whatever, because it's not on a Starrcade or WrestleMania. Then you're sitting here watching it on fucking YouTube and like, holy fucking shit, this match is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was
like the chops alone, because Flair's throwing chops and these guys are fucking like laying them in and they're fucking chopping their shit of each other.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great match. I mean, it was a Ric Flair match. I mean, he could definitely work with anybody. I mean, he could even work with Junkyard Dog, but that's
he couldn't. No, you fucking couldn't.
Oh yeah, I don't think it was.
Ric Flair is great, but I think maybe only Shawn Michaels could have a good match with Junkyard Dog.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, your thoughts on the Junkyard Dog? I mean, it kind of go off topic. I mean, not a very good wrestler, great talker.
He was good. Like, I see matches of him in fucking Stampede that was good. I see matches in UWF that was good. And I've seen early WWF matches that were good. I think what a lot of people see is that like 87, 88, 89, 90, 91 JYD, where he was fucking really out of shape and really fucking awful.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely, he should not have been in a title match ever. But no. I mean, but overall, I mean, with all the technical difficulties that we saw, I mean, what were your thoughts on the first Battle of the Belts? I know they had 2 more, but what were your thoughts on the first one?
It's something they had to do. Again, WrestleMania just fucking happened, right? Mm-hmm. So WrestleMania was earlier that year. Eddie Graham passes away, he commits suicide, the Super Bowl weekend of 85, I believe. That's when that was. You have Starrcade 84. Now you're coming into Starrcade 85. So if you're a promotion, you want to put on these big events, right? And this was supposed to be a big event for them. It's just unfortunately for them, they had the hurricane, and maybe they couldn't draw as much as they could. But but who knows for sure, because the state of Florida wasn't the greatest at this time.
No, I mean it was. I mean they had their heydays, but definitely '85 was not.
Like, understand this. Understand it's '85, right? And your main event guy for Florida is Barry Windham. He's not in Crockett though. He's in Florida.
Yeah,
He's not in Crockett. He probably should be in Crockett, but the Crockett's are pissed that he left to go to WWF in '84. So they're not happy with Barry. So essentially, your main event kind of feud in Florida at this time was probably like what? Barry and versus people. So you got to pull all the AWA guys off this show, right?
Yeah.
Then you got to pull the Crockett people off this show, and you're left with fucking Barry, Kendall, Rude, Billy Jack, and Frankie Lane.
Well, when I picked the show, or when you picked the show, it was good. It was.
It's a good show. It's a good show.
It was no, last week we covered Starrcade 83. Compare to this Starrcade 83 or Battle of the Belts.
Starrcade 83 is a more important show.
Yeah.
This show, it's hard. They're close because you had that Valentine and Piper match that I really liked. You had the Briscoes, and you had Youngblood and Steamboat, which I really like. Now, I'm not a big fan of the main event, but there's enough on that Starrcade show where there's not enough here on this show. Where you had a good main event, and if it had that Martel Bockwinkel match on it that was supposed to happen, it probably maybe outdid Starrcade 83. But when you're having Nick Bockwinkel and Frankie Lane, and you're having Kendall Windham and Barry Horowitz, and you're having Coco Samoa and Rip Rogers, although good matches, they're not marquee matches.
Yeah, they're definitely not marquee matches. So it's like,
Against Florida, why is Dusty not on this show?
I don't know.
Florida, that's his home promotion. He's a Florida guy. If you would have brought down Sullivan, which I don't know if he's even there in Florida at this time, he might be. If you would have done Sullivan and Dusty in the cage again, that would probably draw a much bigger crowd.
Yeah, I don't really understand it.
Where's Luger? Is Luger here yet?
No, I don't think so.
When does Luger debut? Because Luger's only in Florida. He was right from Florida to Crockett. Luger debuts. The next month he debuts.
Yeah, it was overall, what would you give this rating of the show?
Probably like 6 to 3/4 stars.
Yeah, I would probably give it a 9.
You have it that high, huh?
I thought it was a great show. Of all the technical difficulties,
if they would have had that Martel fucking Bockwinkel match, I would rate it a lot higher.
Yeah, but they didn't. So it's like
I know.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's definitely a memorable show because they, with the hurricane and everything, it's like, you can't really blame them for.
No, I'm surprised that doesn't happen more in wrestling, to be completely honest. You know what I mean?
What?
Like big issues like that, hurricanes, earthquakes that cancel big pay-per-views. Because has that ever even happened?
No, I don't think that's ever happened.
Has ever happened where it got completely canceled?
Nope.
That's and I'm shocked that doesn't happen more often, especially with the amount of shows that run like that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's one of those things that I'm not surprised that it hasn't happened more. It's like
right.
you think it would be, but like I said,
they have WrestleManias in California, and there hasn't been any fucking earthquakes during WrestleMania week. So
nope. But it's one of those things. But If you want to follow us on Twitter, we are at the RW Rewind. That's also our website at therwrewind.com. I mean, that's where you can find all our social medias, our links. And of course, if for some strange reason you didn't have a pad to write it down, the link to Alex G's YouTube channel will be in the show notes below. There's links to everything. I mean, we have a brand new sponsor coming up on the program. It's going to be debuting at WrestleCon. It's a big sponsor. Just wanted to say that. Kind of give a little tease. They do a lot of ads on TV. It's going to be huge. But I mean, WrestleCon 2019 is going to be awesome. We're going to try to get people on the program. If you want to, if if you go to WrestleCon.com and you see a superstar from the past, hell, even present that you want us to talk about, wrestling from the past, just tweet us at the RW Rewind and just hashtag book that guy. It's going to be a hashtag coming up soon, and we may be able to get that person on the program, even if that person's name is Virgil. But for the great Alex G, as always, it is your pleasure. I am David Fine. We'll see you back here next week. You know what we hit next week? We hit the legal drinking age of 21. Yeah, that's right, folks. We are at episode 21. You know what that means, Alex G? We are going to be drinking during the program because we will be legal. Episode 21 drops next week. We'll see you then.